r/ask Reddit. What advice your parents gave you turned out to be complete bullshit. Get into the best college you can. We'll figure out how to pay for it. Guess who has a ton of student loan debt now? Yeah, my mom was adamant that she'd pay at least the first year of college. Then she saw the bill and said she'd pay the first semester. Then she'd pay books. Then she'd only pay for one book, etc. She ended up not paying anything and I spent my first year at a college way out of my financial range. Had to transfer to a community college and try not to cry as I paid off the bills from the previous year. My college fund was in stocks. I entered college in the fall of 2007. Guess who paid their own way? Computers will never catch on. Don't waste any more of your time on them. Wasted a decade doing random temping jobs before finally working with computers. Now they harass me all the time to fix their devices. Rule 1 of IT. Never let anyone know you are IT. Rule 2 of IT. When they find out, tell them you are retired, or that you went into management. Work doing what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I do love what I do, but it's still ducking hard work. I'm in the craft beer industry. I don't drink anymore. But do you drink any less? Don't waste too much time on the computer. Become a full-time software developer. Video games are a waste of time was a big one too. I now use Unity to create novel visualizations for novel satellite data. I take so much inspiration from video games to this day that now help people make better sense of scientific data. My parents used to tell me I was spending too much time playing video games. I was spending too much time playing Roblox in particular. Then I learned how Roblox Studio works and learned how to program from it. Now I'm in my second software engineering co-op and one semester away from finishing my bachelor's in CS. The real kicker is they still think I spend too much time on my computer. Shrug. There ain't nothing open after midnight but bars and girls' legs. I never could find any of those girls. You looked inside the bars? Yes, and in one case I waited outside the bar waiting for her. Clean plate club and you'll grow up to be strong and healthy. She forgot to mention fat. Thanks mom. I feel this. My mother used to continually put extra food on my plate without asking and my dad wouldn't let me leave the table until I'd eaten it all. Sometimes the standoff went on for hours. Now my mother complains about my weight. My Swiss grandmother was the opposite. You must leave the table still just a little hungry, because it takes time for your stomach to register that it's full. She lived through World War II and poor, I think. If you study for the final year of high school, you'll never have to study for the rest of your life. I think this is very India specific advice. Oh, boy were they wrong. They say that before every exam. Just get good grades in this one. The rest is all a cakewalk. Plodding from one assignment to the next. What a life. Flattery will get you nowhere. Kissing ass is actually very helpful in getting ahead. And licking ass sometimes helps with getting head. Buy as much house as you can afford. 0. I can afford 0 house. What about Lego? Walk in and ask for a job. My dad didn't adjust to this well. He has had the same job for 30 plus years. He screamed at my older brother in the Best Buy parking lot because my brother had to apply online and didn't walk out of the store with a job. My parents didn't believe my brother and me that most people my age change jobs every 2-3 years for a better salary these days until they heard it from their boomer peers. People just refuse to listen to their kids, which is absurd. They're only mean to you because they like you / they're jealous. That's a great way to encourage people into shitty, abusive relationships. Also, they are mean because I'm a ducking loser with no social skills. They're only mean to you because they like you / they're jealous. Ugh, my mom always said that to me when I got bullied in HS. Like who in the duck is jealous of the socially anxious girl who no self-esteem or friends? It made no sense into why she's choose that sentence to attempt to make me feel better. People rely on these sorts of sayings when they know they have to give advice, but have no idea what to actually say. You'll be empty and sad if you cut one of your parents out of your life. When I went away to college, I felt a gaping emptiness. That emptiness was family, and you'll feel it too. Wrong on all counts, mom, and good riddance. You can't just apply online, get dressed up, go to Lockheed Martin, Introduce yourself and ask if they have any available positions. I didn't do it for the record. They were just so adamant about it. My parents, they just did not understand how many places these days only do applications online and showing up isn't going to do anything. Speaking as an hour professional, sometimes just showing up will do something. Annoy the employer that you interrupted them and didn't follow the application instructions, which make it fair for all applicants. Just because someone shows up in person, especially when the ad says no phone inquiries walk-ins, doesn't mean you get put ahead of the applicants that followed the proper process. My dad told me that you had to drink water and couldn't drink anything else like soda or Kool-Aid or whatever because your body wouldn't recognize it and you'd die of dehydration. Dad sounds like a hydro homie. He thinks drinking water fixes everything. While helpful, not always accurate. They're teasing you because they like you. Very wrong. They bullied me because I was small and didn't fight back. It stopped when I finally snapped and threw one of them down a flight of stairs. Edit. Thank you for the silver. I got bullied a lot when I was a kid and it was very difficult for me for a long time to differentiate between actual bullying and bro on bro ribbing. As a result, I often took my anger out on the wrong people and it stunted a bunch of my childhood friendships. I eventually got through it thanks to some good advice from a cousin, but it took way too long. Lifelong self-confidence issues as a result. Navigating that territory can be really tough. Basically, if you think they're a friend, try giving them some shit back and not just being so damn nice all the time. If they don't lash out when you do so, they're your brothers. Male friendships are really ducking weird sometimes. I'd still take it over female friendships, especially in HS. Watching what my sister sometimes went through with her friends was terrifying. That shit got dark at times. My dad, a Teamster, warned me not to use my GI Bill on college. Instead, I should go out and get a good union job, where I'll have a pension. Otherwise, any job I ever have, they could just fire me for no reason. Thankfully, I ignored him, and got my bachelor's in electrical engineering. I've been working steadily now for about 20 years and have a very large amount saved for retirement. College is a great investment if you either work hard or study something in demand. If you just show up and drift around aimlessly, turns out that's not a good investment of 4 years and tens of thousands of dollars. Older generations got by with it because the people going to college were privileged to begin with and could afford to drink their way through college and be assured cushy jobs. Now that college is way more accessible, that's no longer true. As a professor watching swaths of students possessing almost zero initiative filter in and out of my classes, I can practically see their parents' tuition money evaporate into nothing. College is invaluable if you're focused, self-motivated, and willing to work hard and humbly. Otherwise, it can just be a debt trap. You can feed a family on minimum wage. Haha, only if you're getting financial aid and food donations from a church. My family had built our lifestyle around being super poor. Glad I broke that cycle. Congrats on breaking the cycle, man. It's hard to break generational poverty. Also, we really need to raise the minimum wage. The minimum wage is getting raised in some places, but the problem I'm seeing is that everything is getting raised too. Like rent. If everyone raises the price on things, raising minimum wage won't mean a thing and we'll be back where we started. Open bracket. Also, a lot of companies that have a higher starting wage have slashed the workers' hours, which is making them earn less than with the old wage and more hours. You just have to go talk to the manager. No, they'll tell me to apply online and probably think I'm stupid for not knowing to apply online, because literally every job expects you to apply online. I guarantee you if I went in there and asked to speak with the manager, I'd get hired. You just have to show initiative. You have 30 years of industry experience at a well-known firm at the management level. Initiative is not the reason you're getting hired. It's because I have 6 months of experience and you have 30 years. I guarantee you if I emailed the director of HR, I would get hired. Yes, because you're a senior employee, not a 22-year-old begging for a job. You'll get a job. You just need to want it and work harder. Maybe actually go out and look for a job instead of sitting on the internet all day. Holy shit, shut the duck up. I've been mindlessly filling applications for 6 straight hours and I've been doing this for weeks and I've gotten 3 replies and they were all telling me I didn't get the job. There were 3 billion less people on earth when you got a job and the internet barely existed and people had more money to hire because that was before your generation decided to duck the economy and make healthcare, housing, and education insanely expensive. Rant over. I have a job that I love now, but holy shit that was annoying. Because literally every job expects you to apply online. Expects you to. Most places don't have any other way. What is the manager supposed to do? Just hire you? That's not how any of it works, and there is literally no other way to get a job there than to follow the procedures the company has put in place, which is to apply online. Exactly, which makes me look like I have terrible critical thinking skills and have never had a job before, and an awkward first impression, hurting me more than it helps. People only pretend to be your friends to take advantage of you. Family is what matters. That's actually awful. I grew up in one of those batshit crazy organic vegan non-GMO households. My mother used to always say that GMOs are actually government controlled molecular robots that are used to control us. She used to also say that all gays have AIDS. Duck you mom. I am now an extremely gay bio student working with molecular robots that can save lives. Well, obviously GMO stands for Government Molecular Oversight. Gay microorganisms. Don't play a brass instrument because it's for boys. Don't display your intelligence because boys find that intimidating. I can safely write I attracted more men by my intelligence than my beauty. WTF about the brass instrument? My mom played flute, and when I was choosing my instrument for 6th grade band, I could buzz on the French horn mouthpiece right on the first try. Therefore, I wanted to play the horn, but she tried to talk me out of it by saying that all brass players were boys. As band students grew up, there were more young women serving as brass section leaders than young men. Not to completely shit on my mom, but professional brass musicians are still overwhelmingly male, so it's not completely unfounded. Drop out of college. You're too depressed to make it to graduation. Wrong, I made it. Congratulations, I'm proud of you. Telling someone to drop out without offering up any better alternatives is ducking dumb. Mum told me the pill wasn't effective if I drank alcohol. This was her way to stop me drinking underage. It worked. I choose underage sex instead. Only found out this was a lie in my 20s. I was shocked. I confronted her about it. She laughed and was proud it worked for so long. I was put on the pill at a young age by my gynecologist due to a medical condition. Your liver thanks you. But I hate liars. If you fight back, you're just playing their game. Just get a teacher. Turns out some people in authority positions just suck as people. Others actively abuse their power. Resisting, with verbal, physical, or legal force, is sometimes the only answer. Took me a long time to appreciate that. Basically what my mom told me. My dad, on the other hand, told me if they come at you, fight back. Don't let them push you around. That was good advice. Haha, lucky you. Growing up without zero tolerance policies that basically said to bullies do whatever the duck you want. Anything about dating a girls, although I always knew it was bullshit. My dad hates women, along with people of color, but that's another story. And my mom thinks all women are stupid, weak, and materialistic. I was getting my girlfriend a whiteboard because she liked to doodle and it would be a cute gift. My parents flipped shit, telling me that was the dumbest gift ever and that would break up with me. So I got her a candle instead. Open bracket. She would later tell me a whiteboard was a fine gift, and I later got her one that we both enjoyed. We dated for 5 years and my mom kept hammering into me that my GF was gonna cheat on me, all because I haven't bought her jewelry yet. From then on, I kept my dating life private from my pathetic family. Your mom thinks all women are stupid and weak? What gender is she then? Guess you shouldn't listen to her advice, seeing that all women are stupid. She's not like other girls. My mom once told me that men never had to apologize and that saying sorry was the woman's job. I knew instantly how bullshit it was, and it made me wonder what kind of ducking Stockholm syndrome my father gave my mom. Don't take that scholarship. It's only to help the poor. Yes, mum. But we're only borderline middle class, and that scholarship would have meant I didn't have to work every weekend in uni. Real advice is, if people are handing you money, take it. To ignore bullies. That's the worst kind of advice one could give to kids. Bullies don't want attention. They want to cause damage. Trying to ignore them only give them more power. They feel like they can do whatever they want without any repercussion. In my case, a shy female. The only thing that stopped my males, always males, bullies was me punching them in the face. Then their poorly developed brain realized I want the easy prey they believed I was and stopped bullying me. I'm not proud of this, but I had to defend myself. Since family and teachers weren't unable to help me in the best case, or brushed off the situation as unimportant in the worst. This works for adults too. Submissive people get used and abused. Teaching a young kid that they won't receive any help when they're threatened, to lower their head and pretending nothing is happening, will turn them into weak adults. Teach kids how to defend themselves. Damn it. Music can only be your hobby. You should get a real job. Started making money only with music since 17 yo. Never worked a day anywhere else and made a great career out of it. Anything about how to handle a bully. I should have taken a baseball bat to that a-hole's face. I kind of did this with a hockey stick in primary school to the ducker that bullied me most days. Got told off by the local cops. Bully wasn't told off at all and he didn't change. Guess I didn't hit him hard enough. I remind myself that there is a filter that Reddit puts on reality, as does any medium. As does your parents' rose-colored memories and advice derived that memory. This isn't a binary world, and people's experiences, whether exaggerated, made up, or completely accurate, does not mean I should draw definite conclusions from what I read in this thread, because some parents said to go to college and their children would be guaranteed a big income, and that didn't happen. That does not mean that college is in fact a waste of money every time. That might not even be true most of the time. There are so many variables, such as how that time in school was spent, internships, working, volunteering, networking, and what type of major was pursued. It certainly is believable that people could have done everything right and still fell short of what their parents said, but that isn't a set in stone rule. Also, I always hear about how one adult could work 20 hours at a factory and that was enough to own 2 houses, 4 cars, yearly vacations, while supporting a spouse and 15 kids. But the fact that other people might have been in a better situation doesn't mean I should skip college. As a rule, it just means that if I am taking advice from a parent I should keep that context in mind. Yes, baby boomers can have bad advice. Taking Reddit as truth can be even worse. It takes 2 hands to clap, a Confucian Chinese proverb which apparently means that if you disrupt the social order by being a victim, you probably did something to deserve it. Heard this one countless times growing up and it was always bullshit. This is my response to this bullshit. So what did those toddlers and kids in the Holocaust do to deserve to be victims? Was that a result of their mentality? People that blame victims can duck right off. There are many things beyond our control that can hurt and destroy people. This is why looking out for your fellow person is a key tenet to many religions, although it should go without saying. Don't buy that old VW Beetle. I love that thing. It gave me a hobby, a sense of freedom, smiles from random strangers, and a huge international social circle. My mum told me one day I'd meet the perfect man and he'd dump me for having poor table manners. I met the perfect man and he got eggs stuck in his beard on our first date. 5 years later we're expecting a baby. When working at a shitty warehouse job unloading 60-pound boxes from trucks all day, I hurt myself unloading one day and my parents kept telling me it doesn't matter. Just keep working. Stay at that job, it only matters that you work, not what you do. I hated my life for years. I didn't know why. I was just never happy, unfulfilled, felt no life purpose. I was treated like shit for being white by openly racist bosses, and harassed at work all day every day. Then one day I found my passion, building websites. I got an internship at an advertising agency, and 3 months later I was hired with less hours and making less money, but I felt ask me anything. I went from dreading sleeping at night because I knew I had to work the next day to literally thinking about work non-stop because I was so excited. It's been 2.5 years since then and I'm honestly an entirely different person now. I'm happy. I look forward to every day and even get a bit sad when I can't make it into work. I feel like my life matters, and that I'm doing something I'm proud of. I've been on cloud 9 ever since I got out of that horrible shitty job. It doesn't matter what you major in. Just get a degree and you'll get a job easily. I graduated in the middle of the recession. Don't worry about having a plan financially. Everything will work out. Open bracket. Edit. Maybe I should specify that this particular comment came from a conversation about why I don't feel comfortable having kids just yet. Eat your carrots so you can see in the dark. Be good or Santa won't come. The carrots thing was a lie the British invented to explain why they could shoot down Nazi planes so well suddenly. Turns out they had actually just started using this new technology called radar. Pretty much all of it. If I listened to them, I'd be a divorced community college dropout with 3 kids working a job I hate in a town that's dying and catering to their every whim. I'm a married, child-free engineer in a mid-sized city with absolutely no contact with my parents. Now I just have to deal with the PTSD that is my life gift from them. Well, given I'm not blind yet. Mine was, honesty always wins, or something. Policemen weren't on my side though. Study what you find interesting and a career will follow. Waste of 4 years and a shitload of money. Mostly scholarship money. Some of my parents' money. A tiny bit of my own money. If you go to college, you'll make more money than we do and be more successful than we ever were. You'll probably never match the buying power of previous generations, but with a bachelor's you're projected to make $900k more in lifetime earnings than non-grads. It's not complete bullshit advice. Don't ever hit back. Tell a teacher. Duck that. I was bullied relentlessly for years from about 4th grade until 8th grade. Just taking it mostly verbal, but some pushing, shoving, and people sweeping my legs out etc. Until one day, in gym class one of the worst ones shoved me into a wall and it cracked a tooth. I finally had had enough and I punched him in the face so hard I broke his nose while he was down. I kicked him in balls and in the head multiple times. Blood everywhere. I got suspended for 5 days. Totally worth it. No one ever bullied me after that. It was just that simple. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.